BYU, it's officially official, is it?
It's not.
Oh. Sources.
Well, BYU has announced it now?
Mitch wrote it up.
That doesn't mean BYU announced it.
It's being reported. And
Pete Thamel reported it.
Yeah, that the Bear Bachmeier is going to be the starting quarterback at BYU. They're going with the Frosh.
BYU is having a practice today, and the expectation is he will officially be named today. But everybody is getting out in front of it saying, yes, this is the news.
You think he's walking around the locker room, bossing people around?
You better.
Throwing his weight around already?
I would.
See, Pete Thamel reported my news.
Yeah. Didn't say your name, McKay.
How did your name... I wasn't saying that amongst the other quarterbacks. I mean, the team. That would be productive to drag McKay, saying, do you put everybody in their place? You're QB1 now.
Yeah. You get to pound QB2. Like a little brother.
Well, I think that says a lot about you more so than anything.
Bear's a lot bigger than McKay.
Is that why you walk around here like dressing down everybody you talk to?
Every chance I get.
People you don't know.
Telling everyone I'm QB1.
You're like, I'm sure whatever you do, it's not as important as me. I cover the Jazz.
Let me ask you this. Now that we know it's Bear, or expect it fully to be Bear, versus McKay, does it reset your expectations for BYU season at all?
Reset from what? I have no idea what the expectations are. We're talking about
right,
that. What do you mean reset
from?
You've
not thought about this upcoming 2025 BYU football season
in the slightest.
Do you
have any idea if the Bear is any good? Do you have any clue?
No, that's exactly the question. That's exactly why I'm asking you the question. Right. We don't know. That's why I'm asking you the question.
You said reset. Reset from what?
From if McKay had been the guy.
No, I don't know anything about him either.
Okay.
What?
Is your guacamole going to be good or not?
Listen, people tried to tell me Nate Johnson could throw the forward pass and that he was going to step in and all of a sudden be awesome. I had a co-host who told me Bryson Barnes was going to throw for 300 yards in week 1 or whatever that was.
I said 200, and he threw for 150 in the first half, and then he sat on the ball the second half of the game.
Because you have no idea. Like, no idea. I have no idea if the Bear is going to be any good. No clue.
So
just like when Brett Elliott went down against Texas A&M and they had to go to Alex Smith, nobody had any idea.
Correct.
He was the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Urban Meyer didn't even pick him coming out of camp. So reset from what?
Okay. So here, let me ask you. I'll set it up again. Does your opinion change from the day after we did our show when Jake Retzlaff had officially left BYU and we knew there was going to be a new quarterback battle? Are your expectations different today than they were that day?
With Jake Retzlaff or from the post-news?
Post-Retzlaff.
No, it's absolutely been the same since that day that you abandoned me and went on vacation, and I had to do a whole show talking about that.
We didn't know he was gone yet. I was back by the time he left.
No, of course. I knew that day. If you were actually thinking about it clearly, that day you knew what the end game of that was going to be. Yet people were still tap dancing around. Well, I wonder if they could keep him, depending on if he. Anywho,
yeah.
No, that from that minute until this minute, my opinion can be reset from nothing because I have no idea, and neither do you, and neither is Christian. And probably neither do the coaches. Urban Meyer didn't know that he had the number 1 pick in the dang draft sitting on his bench. He had no clue. So, I've also seen BYU waffle between a freshman John Beck and Matt Berry, neither of whom were any good at that moment in time.
Yeah.
They both sucked. And John Beck turned out to be a 3rd-round pick in the NFL draft and one of the better quarterbacks in BYU history. So, no, I don't know. No, BYU fans are like, he could be Cam Rising. You don't know that.
Of course. Yeah,
he doesn't know that.
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows that.
You're right. We don't know what to expect.
He could throw an interception to a defensive end on his first pass. He could be throw picks last year where he couldn't even throw to himself. In the first whatever game it was. And then all of a sudden, he's a Pro Bowl guy leading the Dogs to how many wins in a row, Christian?
7, I think.
He went from, I should be playing tennis, to lock this guy up long term in a month and a half. So reset from what? I ask again. No, my expectations haven't changed at all because they've got a good team with a a quarterback, the most important position.
I will say you, more than I, was riding the Hillstead train. You were more on board with Hillstead because he played 8 games at Utah State and this is now his 3rd year in college football. Would that have changed your thoughts at all?
Once again, that is mischaracterizing my opinion. My opinion was, with all his built-in advantages, he should be taking that job by the short hairs. And despite those built-in advantages, they're going with the Frush. So I don't know what that says about McKay Hillstead. I don't know how good he is. I have no idea. I just know that if you have a 1.5 year head start and 8 starts more experienced than the other guy, you should beat him out in camp.
And if you
That's
don't,
the point.
And if you don't, that doesn't change your opinion.
And the coach
You
should,
still just don't know.
The coach should kind of lean to you in a 50-50 battle because the coach is more familiar with you, and you should be the safer pick. And frankly, it's safer to move off of you when you probably do suck. So I don't know why he didn't get the job with those built-in advantages. I have no idea. It could be the pair as Alex Smith, I guess.
It is surprising that this is the first time a true freshman, assuming he stays healthy over the next week and a half, will have started game 1 at BYU. Now, in a sense, it's not. A lot of kids go on missions. B, they traditionally have pretty good quarterbacks, so if you're coming in as a true freshman to win the job, you would have to be really good. C is the weird scenario that we're going through, which is the established starter, for whatever reason, does not come back, and they're left in a pickle, and that takes some very specific timing because I think had the Jake Retzlaff news happened in March, BYU would have had a transfer coming in to start. A transfer beyond Bear Bachmeier.
Yeah, that could be true. I'm not surprised at all that they haven't started a true freshman. LaVell Edwards famously didn't play Jim McMahon because it wasn't his turn.
Yeah.
Like they created a system where you didn't play until your junior year. That was all on purpose, and that didn't change until probably the late 90s. And even then, no sane coach wants to start a true freshman. For all the reasons that McKay Hillstead should have had the advantage in camp, no sane coach ever wants to pluck the guy out of his prom and put him on the field to start football games in the Big 12. That's not something anybody wants to do. You want a 1.5 year experience before you have to throw them to the Wolves. You want at least a few games where they get to watch for a minute before you put them in because the fan base is about to burn the building down. I mean, no sane coach wants to make this decision. No offense to them down there. So I don't know. Is it picking between 2 overly ripe avocados? I mean, that's what we're talking about. Go with the one that maybe you can disguise as guacamole. And I guess that's the Bear. But I don't know how to reset expectations. Would they be any different with McKay? No, not really. Other than I would assume McKay would be less likely to turn the ball over. But maybe that's not true. He didn't get the job.
Okay, what are your expectations for BYU? Knowing that it's a true freshman, having a history of watching true freshmen play quarterback, which you've laid out for the last couple of weeks, and a really good team around him.
Well, how many mistakes that cost him games does the true freshman make?
Mm-hmm. That's the question.
How are you supposed to predict that? I have no idea. He could lose all their games for him.
Do you think legitimately they should be considered a threat to win the Big 12?
Probably not, no.
Yeah, I agree.
But I wouldn't have said that about him last year, and Jake Retzlaff turned out to be pretty good.
He did.
Again, we have no idea.
But that was a junior who had made some starts and had played at the lower level and done well before he got to BYU and was bad his first year and was very good his second. So, that's a lot different than what Bear is doing.
But their team isn't built for them to be bad. That's the thing. Like, again, I heard Gary Crowton forever say, we're a young team. BYU doesn't have that excuse. So if they're underperforming because true freshman is making mistakes and losing them games, I can't predict what's going to happen. You go to McKay and move off the Bear forever? I mean, how does that work? Like, Utah State has been battling all this crap forever, right? Mm-hmm. We have no idea. They're going from one guy to another, to another, to another. Moving Bryson Barnes in. How many times did Logan Bonner move in and out of the... I guess his was more due to injury, but you get my point.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know. I don't know how to predict that. Should their defense be elite in the Big 12? I think so, except for we don't know about their corners, which has always been the problem at BYU. That Jay Hill solved, but was that temporary? Can he replace those bodies? Because if he can't, then that defense is going to be limited.
Right. It's not the same room as last year.
No.
Gabe Robinson is not coming back.
If you were going to tell me my confidence level of BYU flipping a position group, that would be the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
So even that's a huge question mark. And we can talk about Utah's question marks as well, but like impossible. It's why I hate that we're doing the stupid ranking thing today. I have no idea. Neither do you. Neither does Christian.
We shouldn't talk about anything until we have absolute certainty.
No,
Get the encyclopedia
we're
out.
talking about it now, but I'm not going to show disrespect for the intelligence of people by saying, like, actually, Ben, my expectations have gone from 8 wins to 7.2 based on absolutely nothing. And maybe it's I'm cynical and I'm tired of listening to the crap out there and people telling you that they know how it is when they absolutely does not. The coaches don't. This it could go so badly, it could get this staff fired for all I know. Now, it would have to go really badly. Have to go really badly. But I'll tell you what, they're worried about that.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, coaches are crazy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But crazy like a fox. It's because that paranoia exists for a reason.
Yeah.
Because we have seen coaches. We saw Gus Malzahn at Auburn go from national championship to out on his backside in less than a year.
Yep.
You know? Like, you can't predict it. I mean, how many, I get it that nobody, and I do this too, like it'll let things disappear into the past and don't own it. But how many people who talk about Utah for a living were walking around crowing about 12 wins or 11 wins or 10 wins?
Lots.
Yeah. Lots. I don't remember how many I predicted on this show. I'm probably guilty of it too. So why don't we say, like, the stone's on you to even predict that? What information were you basing it on?
Well, basing a team on the quality of their quarterback is not exactly a reckless thing to do. That's one of the easiest way to determine whether or not a player or whether a team's going to be good.
I think it can be. We criticized national sports people the other day because they don't know a lot about a lot. They know a little about a lot. And that feels to me like a national sports guy thing. Like, oh, I've heard of their quarterback. Yep. They're probably going to be pretty good without looking at the nuance. And the nuance in Utah's case was, what if Cam doesn't play? Spent a year saying, well, as soon as Cam gets back on the field, well, what happens if he doesn't play? What happens if he had shoulder issues, knee issues? A hand issue is eventually what ended it, right? But, I mean, you could kind of predict that type of thing. Like, what are you going to do? They made a true freshman their backup quarterback, and it submarined the season. And I still feel bad for Isaac Wilson.
Because he got the QB2 job.
He was blamed for all of it.
He was.
All of it. All those people that were predicting Utah would win 10 games, their go-to narrative last year was, well, they still have the 10-win team, but look at this bozo. He's just screwing it up, ruining the whole worst season in Kyle Whittingham's entire career based on that guy. Way to go. Way to go, pal. I feel terrible for him.
Sure. That's exactly the situation BYU finds itself in now. They have a 10-win roster and might have a 5-win quarterback.
So how do you predict that? If you look at Utah from 03 to 05 in preseason predictions, nobody predicted Utah was going to do anything in 03. They won the league going away. Lost one league game, I think, to New Mexico. And that was it. In 04, they were picked to do it all because they brought the whole team back. In 05, Ben, they were predicted to come in first by a mile. They replaced the whole team. Why would they be predicted to come in first? Urban had left.
Yeah.
We didn't know what kind of coach Kyle Whittingham would be. Brian Johnson was a 19-year-old sophomore. The defense, like Sione Buha, all those guys, all gone. And everybody goes, that's the first place team right there. And it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
and it wasn't. Yeah. And they were better probably than they should have been until Brian Johnson got hurt, but they weren't the best team in the league. But those people don't know. And in that case, Ben, that's ignoring the fact that a team's replacing a quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've just never seen true freshmen outside of Johnny Manziel actually be good. Name the last time a true, not a red shirt, but a true freshman.
Trevor Lawrence was good, but yeah. I mean, we're talking about truly elite recruits.
Yeah, I guess I don't remember specifically. I just know, didn't Johnny Manziel win the Heisman as a true freshman?
Trevor Lawrence won the national championship at Clemson his freshman year.
So, I mean, even Tim Tebow sat behind Chris Leak.
Yeah.
So this is not ideal, but I don't know what it resets. It resets like a whole, I have no clue. If that's boring, I'm sorry. I think my reasoning's pretty good, and I'm not lying to people.
I just wanted to yell at you for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we did it.
If they had Retzloff back, yeah, I'd pick him probably top 3 in the league. Why not?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I do think that corner thing is an issue that nobody is really talking about, but we'll see. And with Utah, we've talked about it ad nauseum. I mean, how does the offense fit with the defense? I think that's the whole conversation.
And now that becomes a question for BYU. It's funny how these two schools have begun to mirror each other.
Yep.
Not surprisingly, when you look at the coaching staffs and where they came from and what they know.
So if you're just tuning in, the breaking news, Pete Thamel reporting that BYU, at very least, will have the bare necessities at quarterback, meaning somebody will be playing the position.
Bare necessities.
Really radical to start the season without a quarterback. 0 quarterback.
We're not going with one.
No QB.
None. It's all running backs and tight ends, baby. All right, stay tuned. Top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.